CBS Atlanta News presents Public Affairs on Peach.
Today on Public Affairs on Peach, attachment parenting, a topic that is making headlines this month in light of Time Magazine's cover story, Are You Mom Enough? Good Sunday morning to you, everyone. I'm Brandon Rudat. It is a controversial subculture of parenting and a magazine cover that features a picture of a mom breastfeeding her toddler, and it has everyone talking about attachment moms.
It's the photo that has people across America both cheering and cringing. This month's cover of Time Magazine features 26-year-old Los Angeles mother Jamie Lynn Grummett breastfeeding her almost 4-year-old son as he stands on a chair.
He's a little too old to be breastfeeding.
It's actually quite maternal.
I don't really care, but then again, I don't have kids.
Grummett, who was breastfed by her mother until she was 6, was interviewed for the story on attachment parenting. That's when parents sleep in the same bed as their children and breastfeed them as long as possible to increase their bond. In a Q&A interview with Time, Grummett says those who see her son nursing threaten to, quote, call social services on me or that it's child molestation. I really don't think I can reason with those people. The Time article profiles attachment parenting guru Dr. Bill Sears, who wrote The Baby Book 20 years ago. Sears says breastfeeding beyond 1 or 2 years is beneficial. Grummett says it's normal. She tells Time, quote, people have to realize this is biologically normal. It's not socially normal. The more people see it, the more it'll become normal in our culture. That's what I'm hoping.
When I first saw this cover, I actually had to do a double take.
Dr. Tanya Altman is a pediatrician. She says after a child turns 1, then gets most of the nutrition from food. So breastfeeding is no longer necessary. But she says independence is.
And you want to teach them that, they can let you know when they're hungry, when they're thirsty. They can make choices on their own, and they can spend time away from you.
All right, joining us on the show this morning, Lisa Baker. She's a mom here in Atlanta. She writes the blog Organic Baby Atlanta, and she is a proponent of attachment parenting. Lisa, good to have you on the show.
Thanks.
And I'm glad you're here because you're brave enough to come on, because when a lot of people saw the Time Magazine cover, suddenly attachment parenting is thrust into the spotlight. A lot of people's reaction when they saw that magazine saying, that kid is way too old to be breastfed. What was your reaction when you saw it on the cover of Time?
Well, my first thought when I saw the cover, when I saw the picture, was, oh, that's so cute. It's so normal. And wow, that's on a real magazine. I can't believe they put that picture on a real magazine. Because to me, I didn't see the weirdness of it at all. And then I saw the headline and I thought, oh, they're trying to make it look like something really extreme.
Okay, so the question I think a lot of people had when they saw this magazine is 4 years old. At what point does a child become too old to be breastfed? Realistically, they're 5 years old. Do you do it in the privacy of your own home, or are you out in the public? A 5-year-old, comes up to you and goes, "Mom, I'm hungry," or your 4-year-old, in your case, "Mom, I'm hungry." Do you just start breastfeeding?
Right. Well, yeah. My 4-year-old daughter is still breastfeeding, and we haven't done it in public in a long time. I think if I lived somewhere in a culture where we're accepted and normal, I would. Yeah. It's definitely because of the way that people perceive it.
Society looks at that.
Yes. Yeah. But honestly, it's not like, I don't know. And I think this is true of every mom. You look at, your baby and you're always going to see that baby. Even when they're an adult, you're going to look at them and see the baby. And, still breastfeeding a toddler isn't about the mom. It really is about the child. But, a baby needs you, and they need that nurturing. And
is it though? A lot of parents would say, a lot of parents would say, is it still really about the child? A lot of parents would say, moms like to breastfeed because you burn a lot of calories. You can burn up to 900, right? You can burn a lot of calories. It's the fastest way to lose weight after you've given birth is by breastfeeding. Some would say you're lazy. Some would say you don't care about your daughter because other kids at 5 years old are going to look at her and be like, why are you still breastfeeding from your mom?
That is just funny to me. Anybody who thinks that breastfeeding a toddler is about the mom has obviously never breastfed a toddler. Because, not to say that it's, horrible or anything, but it's definitely not something you do for yourself. Breastfeeding does not help me lose weight at all. It helps me keep the weight on. And it's not like I don't get anything out of it really, other than trying to meet her needs.
Okay. let's talk about the attachment part here, the
Okay.
attachment parenting. I would assume you would say it grows a bond between you and your child, right? You're bonding with your child when you're breastfeeding, no?
Yes, but I
Do you
wouldn't-
let your daughter sleep with you? That's part of attachment parenting, is that the children, right, a part of this culture is that not only are you breastfeeding, but you allow your child to sleep in the same bed with you.
She slept with us till she was 3.
Okay.
She has her own room now.
Okay. So you did detach in many ways
Yes.
from that.
And you know what? That did not, there were no tears involved in that. There was no stress. It was very easy.
A smooth transition.
She was ready. She moved to her own room. We painted it purple, and she got her own bed, and she loves it, and she sleeps there every night and sleeps all night, is very happy to go to bed every night.
So question, when do you decide then? When do you decide that, you know, your daughter, okay, today's the day, enough's enough? Because couldn't the daughter become too dependent upon mom?
I don't think it makes you dependent. I really don't. I mean, you know, you could say that about anything. You could say that about a pacifier. You could say that about a stroller. You could say that about, you know, anything that you do to help your child. And every child is an individual. Some babies, you know, are done with breastfeeding at 18 months.
And they stop
you know?
naturally.
And, you know, some even younger than that. And some kids need it longer. And I think, you know, my daughter, that's just her personality. That's how she is. When she's done, she's going to be done. For me personally, I really like the idea of child-led weaning, which is when you let the child decide when they're done. You know, and I would like to do that. But if my son, who is right now 5 months old, if he decides he's done and she's still nursing, I'm cutting her off.
You're cutting her off too.
Yeah.
All right. So you have
my
this.
limit.
You have this blog, and I'm sure you've heard a lot of parents coming out, probably blasting you, saying this is. Some people out there saying it's almost like child molestation because kids are becoming too old. You know, a lot of people going on your blog. I'm sure you've heard a lot of comments, and you wrote, "quote." Why should you notice or care if I'm breastfeeding my 4-year-old? Why should I notice or care if you're bottle feeding your 4-month-old? What makes someone else's parenting anyone's business? What do you think this is an issue that divides so many moms? So my question to you, why do you think it's an issue that divides so many moms? Why do you think the woman on the street is offended by seeing you breastfeed a toddler? A mom told me once they grow teeth, not even getting close to me.
You know, I don't know why other people feel the way they do. I know for me, if I ever feel uncomfortable with someone else's choices, it's because I don't feel confident in my own choice. But, you know, when I do feel confident in my own choice, then I really don't care. You know, I mean, I have really good friends who formula fed from birth, and that's awesome. That's working for them. I support them in that totally, you know, that's what they need to do. I have friends who let their babies cry it out, you know, at really young ages. And again, you know, that's what they needed to do, and that worked for them. And you know, I'm not going to criticize that. And yeah, and I think I ought to, because I think I should get the same, you know, respect from them. And I really honestly haven't had a lot of
Negative reaction?
No, because
But you're also, but again, to say you're not doing this out necessarily in public when they're a toddler. You're doing it for the most part.
I have done it in public a few times. I think the last time I nursed my daughter in public was when she got bit by a dog at the playground.
How old?
It was recent. I mean, she was 3, I think.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, you know, this dog. I mean, the dog didn't intentionally bite
Yeah.
her. It was jumping on her, but I mean, she got a scratch on her face, and
that's
I
a good
breastfed her,
mom.
and I didn't. Nobody. I mean, the other woman
Nobody
was
said
just,
anything.
Yeah, no, the other one was like, "I'm so sorry, my dog attacked your kid."
No,
you know?
very good. Well, Lisa, I got to say, thank you for coming on, and thank you for talking about it. And I know you've got your blog out there, which I'm sure a lot of people are going to be blogging about since this whole issue has kind of come to light, and people are talking about it. And again, it's not maybe socially normal, but you're doing it. And we appreciate you coming on and talking about it. All right, still to come, you're going to hear from the experts now. We're going to be taking a closer look at attachment parenting. What is it? And why is it so misunderstood? Stay with us.